Good afternoon. From the KUOW newsroom, this is Seattle Now. I'm Paige Browning with a roundup of today's top stories. It's Wednesday, August 20th. Starting with our big story today, protesters took over a plaza at Microsoft's Redmond headquarters twice this week to demand the company end its contract with the Israeli military. Monica Nicholsberg takes us there.
Microsoft employees were milling about a lunchtime farmers market the company holds when masked protesters rode in on bicycles.
Are y'all trying to get ice cream over there?
About 30 current and former Microsoft employees barricaded themselves with tents and tables they took from the farmers market. Julius Sean was one of them.
I think as both a Microsoft employee and an American citizen, I have a duty to use my voice to speak up when others cannot.
The protesters called on Microsoft to cut ties with the Israeli military, following reports that its Azure cloud services are being used to surveil Palestinians. In a statement, Microsoft said it's committed to human rights and is launching an investigation into how Israel is using Azure. Several employees watching the protest said they were supportive of it, but afraid they'd lose their jobs if they spoke out. People like A.N., who asked to only be identified by her initials because
I just had a baby not too long ago and I need my job,
But she said she's heartbroken by what she's seen of the war in Gaza.
You see some of the stories that are coming out, and it's people like me who might have lost their kid or lost their family members. And, knowing that we're connected to something like that is really sucky. I mean, sucky's not the right word for it, but I don't know what else to say right now.
After a couple of hours and several warnings, police began arresting protesters, and the demonstration moved nearby to public property. Monica Nicholsberg, KUOW News.
An anti-LGBTQ rally that was scheduled for Cal Anderson Park August 30th has been moved to Gasworks Park, according to the city of Seattle. A statement from Mayor Bruce Harrell and Councilmember Joy Hollingsworth says the city worked with the organizers of the Revive in 25 event to find a new location after receiving feedback from LGBTQ residents. A previous fundamentalist Christian rally at Cal Anderson in May led to a face-off between attendees and protesters that resulted in 23 arrests. The owner of the Postman mailing business in Seattle's Central District says they'll close by the end of the month. Kiana Pickett told Converge Media she's shutting down because she's been under a lot of pressure being a single parent following her husband's murder. Devon Pickett Jr. was shot and killed outside of the couple's shop in 2022. On Instagram, Kiana says she can no longer maintain the shop.
I was robbed twice now. My window shot out. My husband killed. It's kind of taken a toll on my mental health and just the safety of my children and myself.
Customers are being told to make alternative arrangements for their mail. 16 attorneys general, including Washington's, are petitioning the FDA to make abortion medications more accessible. Attorney General Nick Brown has requested the FDA remove restrictions on mifepristone, one of two drugs that are used in medication abortions. Changes made under Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. now require providers and pharmacies to have special certifications in order to prescribe this specific drug. Brown says that's burdensome for a drug that's been safely utilized for 25 years in the U.S., according to well-documented research. Tacoma City Council member Jamika Scott is honoring the life of Manny Ellis as the city pays out more money to a former officer acquitted in Ellis's death. Last night, the council unanimously approved a settlement agreement to pay an extra $600,000 to former officer Timothy Rankin. Scott says she voted yes on the payout for fiscal reasons, but that it does not feel good.
As a council member, I have a responsibility to take a vote that is going to ultimately put us in the best place as a city. I just don't want us to overlook the fact that Manny was a person and he deserved to still be here with us.
Rankin was one of 3 Tacoma police officers charged with killing Manny Ellis while they were restraining him. A jury acquitted them. And Rankin filed a tort claim arguing he was defamed by the city. The council vote will mean Tacoma pays him a total of $1.1 million in settlements. In nature news, a couple stories today. Efforts to reintroduce grizzly bears to the North Cascades appear to have gone into hibernation under the Trump administration. John Ryan reports.
The National Park Service gave a final green light to bringing grizzlies back to the North Cascades a year ago after many years of public process. Advocates and former federal employees say the Trump administration has put the project on hold. Federal officials aren't saying much, only that there's no timeline for any reintroductions. Scott Schuyler with the Upper Skagit Indian Tribe takes the long view.
These creatures coexisted with us since time immemorial, and if we have to wait another 3 to 5 years to get the animals brought back to their ancestral homelands, we're okay with that.
Republican Congressman Dan Newhouse has introduced a measure to block any spending to bring the top predators back to the Cascades. John Ryan, KUOW News.
Parents are hurrying to see some reptiles before a local zoo closes this fall. Casey Martin reports.
Where in Seattle can you see an albino alligator swimming and pick up a boa constrictor and pet giant tortoises? For the past 30 years, that's been the Reptile Zoo on Highway 2 in Monroe, home to dozens of exotic reptiles.
A lot of impact with Reptile Man.
Owner Isaac Peterson says he's closing the zoo this October because of costs.
I'm still attached to them, so if I had all the money, I'd no problem keeping this place going.
He says the zoo has been especially busy since he announced its closing. Parents like Stephanie Morales grew up with the Reptile Man and are now bringing their kids.
It was a great local place to have.
Peterson says most of the animals will likely be sold out of state when the zoo closes in October. Casey Martin, KUOW News.
The biggest contemporary art space ever in Seattle is now open to the public. The Muckleshoot Indian Tribe and producers of Bumbershoot have opened Cannonball Arts downtown. KNKX arts and culture reporter Freddie Menares reports.
There's a lot to see in the space formerly occupied by Bed Bath & Beyond, such as a virtual reality amusement park ride and a giant whale sculpture that tells the story of the mammal's life cycle. Greg Lundgren is with Cannonball Arts.
We really love this idea that creativity and the way that people express themselves has many different forms, and that could be through movement and dance, that could be through music, that could be through cooking, that could be through fashion and design. And so we hope to kind of reel in all those different communities and provide space for that.
Lundgren says the goal is to give artists who may not be featured in galleries an opportunity to showcase their work and sell it. Tickets to see all of this will cost you $25. In Seattle, I'm Freddie Menares.
Hot and dry conditions are on their way to the Puget Sound region. The National Weather Service says temperatures will tick up starting tomorrow, with hot weather on Friday sticking around through Monday or Tuesday. Seattle could see highs in the mid to upper 80s on those days. The heat's elevating the fire risk across the Cascades and areas south of the Sound through the weekend. Next time on Seattle Now, it's almost time for Bumbershoot.
It's not super corporate like a lot of these music festivals that are still around. I mean, I feel as though a lot of music festivals are starting to peter out because of the high costs and because of festival fatigue.
We'll dive into some of the local talent lighting up the stage this year, Thursday morning. And that's all for today from the KUOW Newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Andy Hurst, and I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See you soon.